Yes, guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and this is your Game Week 32 Premier League predictions. As always, guys, make sure you leave your predictions down below if you disagree with mine. We'll also be hearing from Jordan and Charlie. As always, smash the like buttons up, people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's try and smash 20 likes on the video.
Guys, to another video of my channel. Like, share, comment and subscribe to Jordan Hammond LFC. I'm doing Game Week 32 of the 23-24 Premier League.
So we kick things off with the first game, 12:30 kickoff. We go to Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. Of course, this is a massive game in the title race for City as well. To continue this, if they want to win the league title, they have to win all their games and hope that other teams above them drop points. So they do go away to Selhurst Park. Now, there's a little bit of a history about this game because there's been a few occasions where Palace have actually beaten Man City over the recent years, guys. I mean, if I go back to the game 2021, they beat them 2-0, didn't they, at the Etihad? And also they did beat them when Townsend scored that free kick. I think it's like 3-2 or something. So Palace, they can score an upset. I remember watching, I think last season, they went 2-0 up Palace, and then they ended up capitulating. I think Holland scored a hat-trick, or was it 4 goals? I can't remember. I think it's a hat-trick. And Man City ended up winning 4-2. So Palace can really give Manchester City a game. But I feel like there's a lot on the line for City. Obviously, Palace as well with a new manager in charge, the ex-Frankfurt manager. He's doing pretty decent for them as well. They got a draw against Forest last week, or that 1-1 game away from home, which is a tough place to go to. They would probably like to win that, but I think they'll be fine in terms of staying up this season as well. Palace, we know they've got some quality there, the likes of obviously Eze, Elise as well. The likes of their centre backs, likes of Joachim Andersen, Mitchell's a good left back as well. They do have a decent set of players there and a decent manager. I mean, he seems to be doing a very decent job at the moment, and hopefully it continues for them. But I feel like there's a lot on the line for Man City. Pep's going to know this. Pep knows they're in a bit of trouble at the moment if they do not start picking up, keeping this form consistent. Otherwise, they could be out the title race just like that. I'm going to go with a Man City win. I think it's be tighter than people expect. I think they'll actually concede as well, City. Away from home win. I'm going to go with a Palace 1, City 2. You know what? I'm going to go with a tight game. City getting the 3 points just about. They're going to scrape a 2-1 win away from home against Crystal Palace for me.
Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. Man City, as a guy know, they're too strong. So, yeah, this will be massive at Selhurst Park. I'm going for a 2-0 win, Man City over Crystal Palace.
Next game we go to the Molineux as Wolves take on West Ham. This game is very interesting to predict. It's quite a tough one to predict as well, really, because you don't really know what side West Ham. I mean, let's talk about them first. You don't really know what side of West Ham is going to turn up. We saw them last week against Newcastle. I thought they had it in the bag. I generally didn't, and Harvey Barnes came on and absolutely told him a new one, and they ended up bottling, a 2-goal lead, and they ended up losing the game 4-3, just like that. So, and they play well in the game. Certain players play well in the game. Like Kudus was, and he's a baller by the way, but Kudus was balling. He had a great game. Antonio had a good game as well for them last week, but they ended up bottling. That's what West Ham can do this season. So you don't really know what West Ham side will turn up as well. Wolves are doing a great, having Gary O'Neill's doing a fantastic job with Wolves. The quality that they have. Last week they did lose to Aston Villa away from home, of course, but yeah, they can certainly turn up at home as well. And you know what? I'm sorry, West Ham fans watching, but I think they're going to drop points here. I'm leaning towards a draw or Wolves win, to be honest. I don't see West Ham winning this game away from home. Obviously, I could be wrong. It's just predictions, but I'm going to go with a Wolves. I want to go with a draw, guys. I want to go with a high-scoring game. Wolves 2, West Ham 2. 2-2 draw for me at the Molineux.
Wolves versus West Ham United. Gary O'Neill against David Moyes. This will be at Molineux, guys. I'm going for I'm going for 2-1 win. West Ham United over Wolves.
Next up, we've got Everton as they take on Burnley. This is a big game for the relegation battle as well, guys. If Burnley want to have any chance of staying up, it's just a slight bit of hope that they can stay up this season. They have to start getting some wins under their belt. They've been improving in the recent weeks, Burnley, but Everton, it's a tough one with them. Going on inside their club as well with all this point deduction. It must be frustrating if you're an Everton fan for sure. I still got a funny feeling that Everton, they are very close in the relegation, but I still got a funny feeling that Sean Dyche will have a masterclass and will keep them up. And I don't think Burnley will stay up, by the way. So Goodison Park as well. I see Everton winning this game, man. I do see them. It's going to be one of those low-scoring games, but I do see Everton winning this game. 2-0, Everton win for me. Everton going to win this game 2-0.
Everton versus Burnley. Yeah, Sean Dyche against Vincent Kompany. I think this will be at Goodison Park. You know what? I'm seeing a 2-0 win. Everton over Burnley.
So next, we go to the top 4 race. Villa Park, Aston Villa against Brentford. This is another interesting game to predict, as we know. I thought Brentford should have beat Manchester United last week. The amount of chances they had, how they dominated the game as well, and they just about scraped the point in the end, didn't they? In the last minute, guys, just about scraped a point, and they got a 1-1 draw out of it. But they should have been in our sight in that game against Manchester United. Going away from home, I don't think their away form is that good as well, guys. Of course, Villa at home, Emery, Villa Park is a fortress. We know what happened last week. Well, midweek for them, they got battered by Man City 4-1. But I do see Aston Villa getting top 4 ahead of Tottenham. I really do, and I think this is where it's going to continue. They're going to get the win here for me. Pretty comfortable as well. I'm going to go Aston Villa 3, Brentford 1, 3-1.
Aston Villa versus Brentford. Mr. Good evening. Unai Emery against Thomas Frank. 2-0. Aston Villa.
So the next game is Wolverhampton Wanderers versus West Ham United. Basically Wolsey West Ham at Molineux. So, yeah, both teams have had a decent season. Wolves are in 11th, and I think West Ham are about 7th or 8th. Wolves have had a decent season. They've had some good results this season, and I've been impressed with Gary O'Neill and the job he's been doing. As for West Ham, I think they've had a good season, still in the Europa League, and I think they've done much better in the Premier League than last season. They've had their good and bad results this season, but I think they've done all right. My prediction for this game, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Wolves and West Ham. I don't think there'll be a lot between the two sides, two decent teams, and I think it will be a 1-1 draw. So the next game is Manchester United versus Liverpool at Old Trafford. This is a massive game. You don't know what to expect with Man United. You don't know what Manchester United is going to turn up, I'm not going to lie. One game they can be brilliant for spells, and then they can completely go off the boil. Similar to the game against Chelsea, 2-0 down. Came from behind really well to lead the game by 3-2, and then bottled it in the beyond the 99th minute to lose by 4-3. But I do expect Manchester United to be up for this game. As for Liverpool, they've been in good form lately. They're winning games. They're playing well at times, and also just showing character even when they're not playing well to just get the job done, you know what I mean? But they're top of the Premier League, and I think if they win here, it will give them a massive boost to go on and win the league, in my opinion. My prediction for the game, Jordan, I think you'll like this. I'm just going to go for it because I think this could happen, but I'm going to go for, I think this is going to be a really good game to watch. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I'm going to go for either a 2-2 draw, or I'm going to go for Manchester United 1, Liverpool 2. And the final game is Tottenham Hotspur versus Nottingham Forest at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So Tottenham have shown flashes of brilliance last few weeks. They've had a few good results, and then they've had a few bad results as well. But they need to win this game in order to hunt down Aston Villa for the final Champions League spot. As for Nottingham Forest, I'm not too sure what their form's been like last few weeks, but as long as they stay up, that'll be a good season. It don't matter how poor they've been this season, as long as they stay up, that's all that matters, and then they can strengthen in the summer. But my prediction for this game, honestly, is a Tottenham 2-0 win. I think Tottenham will have a little bit too much for Nottingham Forest at home. They won't make it easy for Tottenham, but I think Tottenham will get themselves over the line by 2-0. So the next game is Sheffield United versus Chelsea at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United, for me, have been very poor this season. They've been leaking goals and they haven't been very competitive in the Premier League at all. Last few games have been a little bit better, but they haven't picked up enough results to give them any chance of staying up. They should have never have drawn against Fulham. They were 2-0 up, 3-1 up, sorry. And they also bottled a 2-0 lead away at Bournemouth as well. But as for Chelsea, I'm not going to lie, you don't know what to expect from them. One game they can be alright, and then the next game they can be absolutely shocking. And that's why they're in 10th, because they've been very inconsistent this season. Big up to Cole Palmer, he's been brilliant this season for Chelsea. But yeah, fair play Chelsea. Their games have been very entertaining to watch this season. Chelsea could easily go and lose here. It would be typical Chelsea, but I'm going to go for Sheffield United 0, Chelsea 2. I think Chelsea will get the win here. I think they'll get the job done. So the next game is Brighton and Hove Albion versus Arsenal at the Amex Stadium. And this is a massive game for my club Arsenal in terms of the title race. This is going to be a really hard game. Brighton have had a decent season, you know what I mean? They're in mid-table. They had a good Europa League adventure. And actually at home, they're really good. They've only lost once all season. And that was against West Ham in August. So they're really hard to beat at home. And it's a really tough place to go to. And away from home as well, they're unbeaten in 5 games for the first time since 2006. So they're in decent form actually lately. And they've got very good players. As for Arsenal, we've been in good form recently, especially since the Dubai break. We haven't lost a game in the league. We have only lost 1 game since the start of February, and that was away to Porto. And we've only dropped points in the Man City game. But look, we've been in good form. We're defending well with Saliba and Gabriel. We've been rock solid all season. And going forward, we've been scoring lots of goals as well. So I think this is going to be a hard game, but I think we'll just edge it. I think Arsenal will win by 2-1, which will be a massive free. So the next game is Fulham versus Newcastle at Craven Cottage. So Fulham have had a decent season. They've had a couple of really good results. And it looks like it's going to be another season in the Premier League. Well, it is going to be another season in the Premier League for them. They are safe. And as for Newcastle, they've had quite a few injuries this season. But it's been an up and down season for them as well. Their form lately has been a bit up and down. But as long as they can get any sort of European football, that'll be a decent season for them. My prediction for this game, I think it will be, honestly, a 1-1 draw. I think this will be a good game. Both teams got some good attacking players. So I'll go for Fulham 1. So the next game is Everton versus Burnley at Goodison Park. This is a massive game, I'm not going to lie. This is a 6-pointer. This is absolutely crucial for the relegation battle. Burnley, compared to a few weeks ago, have got a much better chance of staying up. They are only now 6 points adrift to safety, I believe, with 7-8 games to go. As for Everton, they're in poor form, I'm not going to lie. They haven't won for 13 games and there's massive pressure on Sean Dyche. Otherwise, he could lose his job because they're in poor form. My prediction for this game, Everton 1, Burnley 1. This is a big game and I think both teams will be a little bit nervy. I think both teams will cancel each other out a little bit and I think it'll be a game lacking on quality. But I think it'll be a tight. So the second game is Aston Villa versus Brentford. Aston Villa are currently inside of the top 4. They've had a couple of decent results lately and a couple of bad results, like when they got smashed against Tottenham and got beaten heavily at the Etihad. But this is an important game for them to keep themselves in the top 4. They've had a very good season so far, still in the Conference League. As for Brentford, as long as they stay up, it'll be a good season. They haven't been as good as what they were last season, but as long as they stay up, that'll be a good season. And Tony will be a big part of that. They've had a couple of draws lately. So my prediction, I think Aston Villa will just get the win here. It won't be easy. Brentford will be tough to beat, but I think Aston Villa will just about pip it. I'm going to go Aston Villa 2, Brentford 1. Game this weekend in game week 32 is Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. Crystal Palace are on 30 points. They're nearly safe. But to be honest, it's not been the best of seasons for them. They haven't really picked up too much form. Roy Hodgson got sacked. And even with their new manager, they haven't been in the best of form. I think they've struggled without Wilfried Zaha this season, their star man before. But they're nearly safe. As for Man City, they've been in decent form. To be fair, they haven't lost that many games since the turn of the year. and they picked up a very good win against Aston Villa earlier on this week. My prediction for this game, honestly, 3-1 Man City. I think they'll have a little bit too much for Crystal Palace. I think Palace will be hard to break down. They'll be tough. Selhurst Park isn't easy to go to, but I think City will have too much quality. They need to win. It's a must-win for them to keep the pressure up on Arsenal.